I have a tiny rule for evaluating AI tools. If it removes a meeting, I pay attention. If it removes the meeting before anyone knows the meeting was necessary, I really pay attention. DocsAlot launched today on Product Hunt as documentation that works for both humans and AI systems. That sounds like a niche developer tool sentence, but the introvert angle is simple. Most support calls, onboarding calls, and implementation threads start because the right answer technically exists somewhere. But the person, or increasingly the agent, cannot find the current version without asking a human. DocsAlot is trying to turn that messy knowledge layer into one maintained source. Its site says it pulls together Help Center pages, API docs, internal product knowledge, GitHub docs, READMEs, changelogs, open API references, product notes, and support articles. Then it publishes polished hosted docs for people and machine-readable surfaces for agents. llms.txt, skill.md, clean markdown, MCP-ready chunks, and hosted MCP tools like search, page fetch, and runnable examples. That is a lot of docs plumbing. The useful part is that it is all tied to the same source, so the human quick start and the agent context do not quietly drift apart. Here is the pain this solves. When an introvert runs a product, a team, or even a solo project, documentation is supposed to be the boundary that protects deep work. In reality, docs often become a haunted attic. The install guide is outdated. The API example uses an old field. The Help Center article references last quarter's pricing. The README says one thing, the support macro says another, and the coding agent confidently invents a third answer because it scraped a stale page. Then someone pings you. Not because they are wrong, because your knowledge system failed silently. The specific signal in DocsAlot is not just generating prettier docs. Everyone can generate prettier docs now. The signal is AI onboarding quality as something you can inspect. Their page talks about asking what AI tools can see, which page they cite, where onboarding falls through the cracks, and which answers drift. On Product Hunt, the maker said DocsAlot detects outdated docs from source code and recommends updates for approval. In another thread, he said the objective is optimizing docs for agent adoption, including data on how agents traverse help centers, drafting articles from that traffic, and suggesting structure changes that reduce token waste. That is the part I would test first. Not whether it can publish llms.txt. That will become table stakes. I would test whether it can catch the boring failures that trigger human interruptions. Give it a repo, an open API spec, and an old help center. Ask it to find where the docs no longer match the product. Ask what ChatGPT would cite for the install flow. Ask which support answers still point to old limits. Then read the suggested fixes like a skeptical editor. If the recommendations are accurate, you have something more valuable than a doc site. You have an interruption shield. There is a second use case for solo builders, making your product easier for other people's agents to adopt. We are entering a world where a potential customer may not read your docs first. Their coding agent reads them. Their internal assistant evaluates them. Their procurement workflow asks an AI which tool integrates cleanly. If your docs are not legible to those systems, you are not just missing SEO. You are missing the quiet buyer who never booked the demo because their agent could not figure out setup in the first place. You are missing the quiet buyer who never booked the demo because their agent could not figure out setup in the first place. You are missing the quiet buyer who never booked the demo because their agent could not figure out setup in the first place. My verdict is cautiously positive. DocsAlot is worth trying if your product has real setup complexity, if customers keep asking questions your docs should answer, or if you expect developers and agents to onboard from your documentation without handholding. If customers keep asking questions your docs should answer, or if you expect developers and agents to onboard from your documentation without handholding. It is less urgent if your docs are tiny, static, and already clean. The risk is false confidence. A benchmark report can look authoritative while still missing edge cases. The risk is false confidence. A benchmark report can look authoritative while still missing edge cases. So treat it like a docs reviewer, not a replacement for owning the source of truth. The workflow I would use is simple. Start with one high-friction path. Install, authentication, first API call, migration, or cancellation. Connect the sources DocsAlot needs. Generate the human docs and the agent-readable outputs. Run the AI visibility audit. Fix only the top 3 gaps. Then ask a coding agent to complete the setup using only the published docs. Then, ask a coding agent to complete the setup using only the published docs. If it succeeds without asking you a clarifying question, that is the moment the tool starts paying for itself. The bigger signal is that documentation is becoming part of the AI interface. Your docs are no longer just pages people read after they get stuck. They are operating instructions for the agents that may decide whether your product is usable at all. For introverts, that is good news. The more your docs can be trusted, cited, searched, and repaired quietly, the less your calendar becomes the fallback API. You do not need to be more available. Your knowledge just needs to travel without you.